Hi there, good afternoon, and you've tuned into ET now, and this is Market Fatafat with me, Cheryl D'Souza. Along with me, I have Vinny Motiwala. A very good afternoon to you, Vinny. And if you look at the markets, they are actually in the negative territory. You had the US markets also that shut shop in the negative territory. Asia also was very much in the negative territory. So that's the way how even Indian markets are reacting to that of the global cues. 0.5% downtick coming in for the benchmark indices. It was actually Nifty Bank that was outperforming the benchmark indices. If you look at Nifty Bank, the decline in Nifty Bank is not as much as that of the benchmark indices. It's about 0.11% as 0.1% as we speak. Talking about the broader markets as well, today broader markets are also moving in tandem with the benchmarks. So broader markets that are seeing declines of about 0.4%. That's for the mid-cap index, while small-cap index is actually underperforming. 0.7% downtick coming in for the small-cap index as we speak. Talking about the advanced decline ratio, very much tilted in the favor of the declines as of now. You have around 1,280 stocks declining as against 700 shares that are gaining right now. Talking about the sectoral front, then it's the IT index that's seeing a sharp decline in trade today. You have IT index that's seeing declines of about 1.6%. But apart from IT index, you have Realty, Pharma also that are playing spoil sport in trade today. But on the flip side, it is media index that's holding on to marginal shade of green, as well as Vinny's very own FMCG index as well is trading flat with a positive bias. So that's the way how the market setup is looking like at this point in time on Friday today. Vinny, benchmark indices definitely declining in trade.
Absolutely. On that note, let's get started with those stocks that are buzzing in trade, and that's either going to be on back of news flows or on the back of technicals that we're seeing a move coming in the stock. And Vaishali Parekh is joining in with us from Prabhudas Lilladher to talk on the technicals, while from the research team we have Lisa as well as Ankita joining in with us. Good afternoon to all of y'all, and good afternoon to you as well, Cheryl. And I'm going to be starting with the first stock as always, and NLC is the stock that I'm going to talk about. NLC India, this stock is in focus because it's entered into a long-term power usage agreement. This is with the Rajasthan Urja Vikas Nigam, and this is for around 300 megawatts of solar power under the CPSU scheme at Rajasthan. Now, this Navratna company has installed renewable energy capacity of 1,421 megawatt, and as per the company's corporate plan, it contemplates to be establishing around 6,031 megawatt of capacity by 2030 as well. But today, on the back of this 300 megawatt of supplying order that they've received from Rajasthan to supply solar power is something that is keeping the stock abuzz. Yes, as of now, given up all those morning gains because the stock was trading with gains of as much as more than 2% in trade. As of now, just with the markets, that fall coming in, we're seeing that the stock is also given up most of its gains. It's trading with gains of just almost 0.5%.
All right, next up, let's put the spotlight on Adani Group counters. Not just Adani Power, Adani Energy, but all of the Adani Group counters. We're seeing very good gains in today's trading session, continuing to hold on to strong gains. And why is it that the Adani Group of counters are actually buzzing in today's trading session? The reason for that is Economic Times has reported that Abu Dhabi National Energy Company, which is also known as TAQA, was evaluating investment proposals up to about $2.5 billion in Adani's power units, including picking up a near 20% stake in Adani Energy Solutions, which is erstwhile known as Adani Transmission. So that is the news reports that we're picking up from Economic Times as a source-based report. No doubt you have a clarification that was sent to the agencies by UAE's TAQA saying that the reports are for now baseless. But if you see the stocks, they are holding on to strong gains in today's trading session, and this sort of an up move is coming in for the counters most since the month of May. So you have Adani Group stocks that are in focus, be it Adani Enterprises, Wilmar, as well as Adani Power, Energy and Green Energy as well, that's buzzing in today's trading session.
Absolutely, but talking about the power sector, we spoke to Pankaj Tripural, Senior Vice President and Fund Manager at Kotak Mutual Fund, talking about the power demand. What does he expect in terms of that overall for the sector as well? Where does he see that moving? Let's go across and listen in.
So the entire power value chain should do well, whether it be transmission guys, whether it be the generation guys, whether it be the guys who are doing the EPC projects. And we incrementally are quite positive on this space, just considering the demand and supply. India cannot afford to have no thermal power generation. Incrementally, I think we will need to also plan the thermal power generation as you move ahead.
All right, so that is the word coming in from Pankaj Tibrewal on the power sector. And yes, he also believes that the power sector is going to continue to surge in a scorching speed. But Vaishali, you're going to talk about a footwear company, and that is Liberty Shoe. And do you see this one racing ahead, pacing ahead?
Good afternoon to all of you. Yes, so in spite of all this choppy move, I'm seeing that there is a lot of strength coming in almost all footwear stocks. So Liberty, I would say, technically is very well placed, and volume is also picking up. So I would be positive on this stock to buy this stock with a stop loss of 225. Once we see this stock coming out of the range, I would look at a target of 260 to 70.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on those levels for Liberty Shoes. But let's move on. And Ankita, you've picked up Reliance Industries for us today. Why is Reliance Industries in focus today? What is the news flow that we're seeing? Because the stock is down almost 0.8% in trade right now.
That's correct, Winnie. We did see Morgan Stanley come out with its notes today on RIL, and according to them, they're maintaining an overweight on the counter, and they've cut the target price to 2,821 rupees from 3,000 rupees per share. Now, they've also cut their FY 24, 25 and 26 EPS estimate by 6 to 8%, and this they have, to calculate, they've incorporated mark-to-market chemical spreads, interest cost and net debt, and also incorporated the investment and capex estimates for each vertical. And on the back of that, we are seeing a downtick of almost 0.8% in trade for RIL.
All right, that's Reliance Industries as in focus in today's trading session. But Vaishali, Dixon Tech, how are the charts looking for this particular company? We've seen a lot of interest actually coming for this particular stock. But do you think this interest is warranted? Because 74% gains in the last 6 months is already done.
Well, I'm looking at the weekly chart also, and it's showing in a very strong uptrend. So even for an intraday or a short-term basis, I would say do buy this stock with a stop loss of 4740. The near-term target I would look at would be 4800, 42, 4820. But for a positional trade also, it qualifies a good pick.
Okay, let's move on and talk about the next stock and Concord Biotech. Lisa, how was the listing for this one?
It was quite decent actually, not so great because it debuted at around 26% premium over its IPO price. So Concord Biotech, which is backed by late Rakesh Jhunjhunwala's Red Trust, it kicked off trading today and it actually beat the analyst estimates. They expected around 15% premium over the IPO price. So the stock opened at around 900 against the issue price of 741 per share, and the public issue mainly comprised of only offer for sale portion. The subdued listing was, we can attribute it to the muted market conditions since the last 2 weeks, and also the financial performance of this company has been quite inconsistent. Talking about the company a bit, it's an Ahmedabad-based pharma company which is mainly into niche complex portfolio. It has high margin business, and they are also expanding into injectables. So that's the growth triggers for the company. Around 89% comes from API, while around 10% that comes from formulation business, and they have 50% in India and the rest from overseas market. So that's on Concord. It's as we speak, it's around 26.7% up.
All right, that's Concord Bio, that is in focus. But Vaishali, GMDC, how is this one looking on the charts to you?
So today, in spite of this choppy move in the mid-cap category, this is one of the stocks which was showing a lot of strength. And it is sustaining above a cluster of moving averages. So I would say that this stock, even the volume since a couple of days is picking up. So I would say it's a buy with a support of 170. And let's wait for a clarity. Once above 185, 188, it's ready for a takeoff to target 200.
Okay, keeping an eye out on those levels for GMDC. Let's move on and talk about DB Realty, why the stock is at focus. We saw Autumn Investments and Infrastructure that Limited that has actually bought some shares in the company. Yesterday we had seen a large bulk deal happen. So this is around a 1.9% stake that they've bought into this real estate developer, and that is for around 100 crores through an open market transaction. Now, let's not forget DB Realty shares have zoomed as much as 11% yesterday as well. Today, yes, given up those morning gains. But the sellers of this stock, they sold around 40 lakh shares is what Autumn is actually purchased in terms of DB Realty. So let's keep an eye on that, because this was in 4 tranches that they purchased this 1.9% stake. That is 40 lakh shares in DB Realty. So keeping focus on DB Realty on the back of this bulk deal.
All right, that's DB Realty for you. That's in focus. But Vaishali, let's talk of Kotak Mahindra Bank, because unlike the other private sector bank peers, Kotak Mahindra Bank has not performed that well. The chart on your screen just shows 0.2% uptick for the last 6 months. Where do you see Kotak Mahindra Bank actually headed from here on? Do you think that one can put bets on this one, hoping that it will start outperforming in the remaining 6 months?
Well, so in the banking category, rightly said that yes, this is not participated at all. In fact, it's just been correcting, and today we are seeing just some bullish buyback coming in. But I would say it's very much close to the support level, a crucial support of 1730, 1720. So I would say that one should start accumulating, because once the banking sector starts picking up, we will see some run up coming from this stock. So, well, not in a hurry, but do accumulate, because we are close to the support of 1730.
All right, moving on then, let's talk about Sula Vineyards, and that particular counter is in focus in today's trading session. And why is that? Because the company had come out with their August 12 to 14 wine sales update, and as per that, they said that the revenue from wine tourism operations for August 12 August 12 to 14 hit a record high level. Remember, and why they're talking about August 12th to 14th is because it was a long weekend for most of them. Most of them actually took off on August 14th as well and tried to combine those leaves. So it was a long weekend coming in for most of them. And they're saying the revenue from wine tourism for that particular period actually hit a record high. So on back of that, we saw the stock see an uptick of as much as 4.3%. It was, and the stock hit its highest level since August 11th. However, giving up most of the gains, 1.6% uptick coming in for Sula Vineyards as we speak.
Absolutely. Let's move on and then talk about State Bank of India on the charts. So, Vaishali, we had seen a very sharp run-up coming in State Bank of India at one point of time. But now in the last 6 months, just 7% return, not much of an up move. Last 1 month has been very negligible in terms of a move that you could see. So, is this a pause that is coming in for SBI, or is it time that, we will start seeing a run-up again?
So talking about the banking sector, PSU banking stocks are still very well placed compared to the private sector banks. So I would say that yes, right now it is taken after a good corrective move right from 630, 640 levels to now 500 and just 2 days back it made a low of 555. I think this is good pick for a long-term perspective, and 540 holds to be a good support.
Right, so that's the view coming in on SBI. Ankita, Allcargo, why is this one in focus in today's trading session? The stock seems to be under pressure, isn't it?
Yes, Cheryl, that's absolutely correct. The stock is under pressure. In fact, speaking of pressure, the stock has been under pressure for the last 1 month. It has been down almost 12% and 10% in the last 5 days. It happened, right after an operational update that came out, and that said that the international business volumes have declined 4% for less than container load operations in the month of July as compared to last year. And thereafter, we are seeing the stock declining. But as of today, we saw Jefferies note come out, which maintains a buy but has cut the target price to 340 rupees per share from 370 rupees per share. They feel that the management is candid on the margins being weaker than expected. They continue to gain share and focus on cost contamination, which should perhaps benefit it when the volumes start recovering. Now, the company is a pure play on international trade and domestic logistics, and the volume recovery is key for FY24-26 estimates of 85% EPS CAGR and 17 to 19% ROE. And on the back of this note, and of course the operational updates that came in on Allcargo, the stock is getting battered and trade is down almost 3% in trade today.
Okay, that is Allcargo Logistics for you all. Let's move on and talk about Maruti then. And Vaishali, what are the charts indicating for Maruti? Is that 10,000 mark around for Maruti? Because right now at 9,400 seems a bit far off. What is your view on the charts?
So I would say actually the stock is corrected right from 9,800, and now we saw that it bottoming out at 9,200. So this calls for a good buy, because long-term chart, if I see on the weekly as well as monthly, we are still in the bullish territory, and today also we saw some momentum picking in. So with a support of 9,200, I think let's have trades like for a target of 9,600 from here on, but then we can have a relook. But I'm looking at a target of 9,800 to 9,900 from here on, but keeping in mind that 9,200 should hold on as a good support.
All right, moving on, Lisa, let's talk about LTI Mindtree, and why is this particular counter in the spotlight in today's trading session?
Well, LTI Mindtree is in focus as US-based Affleck, which is the largest provider of supplemental insurance in United States. They have selected LTI Mindtree as their digital transformation partner. So it will involve application modernization as well as cloud transformation. LTI Mindtree will be providing comprehensive end-to-end cloud migration expertise as well as factory-based delivery model and AWS flexibility, and they will be digitally transforming the organization by leveraging the cloud native services of Amazon Web Services. But as we can see, LTI Mindtree is not reacting. It's down around 0.68%. But compared to Nifty IT, which is the top sectoral loser today, it's down around 1.6%. LTI Mindtree is outperforming the Nifty IT index.
Surely keeping an eye out on LTI Mindtree. Let's move on and talk about Bharat Forge then. And Vaishali, in the last 6 months, we've seen Bharat Forge move on from 743 to currently at 957. On the charts now, what is Bharat Forge indicating? Should we expect this pickup that we've seen coming in the last couple of months to continue for the stock?
I would think so because, we are already seeing a good up move. And there is some pause right now, but let's wait because the overall trend is still positive. Let's wait for a confirmation about 970. I think the stock is ready for 1000, 1020. So my view was bullish for now.
All right, so that is Bharat Forge for you. But before we hear out what Vinod Karki has to say, let's talk about the news that will be hitting your screens anytime now, and the fact that we've got a notification saying that the listing of equity shares of Jio Financial Services will be on August 21st. So finally, we have the date for the listing of the equity shares of Jio Financial Services, which will be August 21st. Let's take a look at what Reliance Industries is doing at this point in time. Yes, that particular stock was in focus, and there you can see the spike on the screen for Reliance Industries on the news that the listing of equity shares of Jio Financial Services will be on August 1st. So, I beg your pardon, 21st is the date. So, yes, all eyes on that particular listing.
Absolutely.
August 21st is when everybody has been waiting. 0.5% downtick for Reliance, but you can see the sharp uptick from the day's lowest point.
That's absolutely. So it's going to be an exciting Monday coming in there for sure, because 21st August, keeping an eye out on the listing of Jio Financial shares. But let's move on and actually listen into what Vinod Karki had to say about the auto sector. What is his view on there? Which stocks is he looking at? Listen in.
So if you see over the last couple of years, they have undergone significant challenges in terms of chips or other supply issues, basically, and demand also is coming back to normalcy. So I think, and the best part is the whole premiumization effort. If you see across, the excitement is only about new premium products, basically, and they are launching new products which are premium and has higher demand, as we saw for some of these new products which are launched. So I think, and the EV story continues. So a mix of low base, demand issues, supply issues, and new product launches, premium demand for high premium products, all these things augur well for this sector overall. Only thing is the valuations need to be reasonable, which are there for some of these stocks, as we mentioned. So yeah, they look good overall.
And moving on, let's talk about Yatharth Hospital. The recently listed company reported its numbers yesterday post-market hours. When you look at it, a very strong set of numbers was reported by the company, because we're seeing in terms of the profit growth of the company, very strong profit growth that they've seen coming in of around 73% on a year-on-year basis. And the net profit came in at 19 crores for the quarter ended June. And also on a sequential basis, when you look at it, the profits have seen a growth of 10% as well. Operating revenue too saw a strong growth of 39% coming in at 154 crores, while the EBITDA also rose by 61% at 41 crores for the quarter ended June. Margins saw an expansion around 368 basis points coming in at 26.8%. So on the back of this news and on the back of a strong set of numbers reported by the company, this is the first time that the company has reported its numbers after being listed. We're seeing that the stock is up as much as 8.6% as of now.
All right, before we move on and talk about South Indian Bank, let's once again take a look at what Reliance Industries is doing, because as you can see it on your screen, you have the flashes now. Jio Financial Services will be listing on August 21st on BSE, and you see the stock's sharp spike coming in for Reliance Industries. It's just an ET now analysis. Also, the fact that the market cap of Jio Financial at a price of around 261.65 rupees per share will stand at about 1.6 lakh crore rupees. So this is what data we have for now. If you look at what we are picking up from the sources, also I beg your pardon, from exchange filing, there's the fact that Jio Financial Services will be listing on August 21st on BSE. Reliance Industries has actually broken into the positive territory, thereby lending support to the benchmark indices as well. And the market cap of Jio Financials at 261.65 rupees per share stands at 1.6 lakh crore rupees. So that's an 18-hour alert for all of our viewers. But yes, something that we all will be watching out for, definitely, Vinny.
Absolutely. Surely keeping an eye out on this one, Cheryl. And, look at it that because the stock also recovered, that is also interesting to know. And that is the main reason we're keeping an eye out on Reliance. And obviously, 21st August is the date that we all should be keeping an eye out on for the listing of Jio Financial.
Yeah, like I mentioned, the Jio Financial discovered base price actually stood at about 261.85 rupees per share. So watch out for that one. But let's also talk about South Indian Bank, because that particular counter has seen a sharp rally in today's trading session, and because RBI has given nod to appoint Mr. P.R. Sheshadri as a new MD and CEO of the bank for a period of 3 years. And not just that, you also had a block deal, a sizable block deal that took place in South Indian Bank at market open. So that also lends support to the stock and took the stock higher by about 10% or so. Right now, as you can see on your screen, 8% uptick coming in for South Indian Bank.
Okay, let's move on and talk about Siemens on the charts then. And Vaishali, what are the charts indicating for Siemens now? What should we be expecting in terms of the target that one should keep an eye out for Siemens? Last 6 months, almost 13% return, but what is it now expected at?
So I would say actually, yes, we saw good up move coming in, and now after a good corrective move, we are at a technically good level right now. So I think one can look for at least a trading strategy of 3,800, 3,900. And of course, if the market continues to show uptrend and the stock is to do well, I think it's also possible to see 4,000 levels on this stock.
All right, that is Siemens for you. But Ankita, Finolex Cables, why is this in the spotlight?
That's right, Cheryl. Finolex Cables is in focus today, and the stock is up almost 2.25% in trade, and that is on the back of a note that Jefferies came out with today, and they're maintaining a buy on the counter, and they've hiked the target price to 1,270 rupees per share from 1,025 rupees per share. Now, they feel that they are the beneficiaries of housing and capex cycle in India, and the communication segment is likely to benefit from the 5G rollout. Also, the price erosion in the optic fiber could mitigate with the import of ADD of 5 to 15%. Now, they have hiked the FY24-26 EPS by 7 to 8% and expect the FY23-26 sales and PAT CAGR at 19 and 22% respectively, with a 500 basis points rise in the ROCE. And on the back of that, Jefferies is maintaining a buy and hike the target price. And on the back of that, we can see a move of almost 2.25% higher on the stock.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on that. But Sharon, I do want to mark the market once as well, because if Reliance is recovering, let's look at what the Nifty 50 has done as well. And, where is it moving? Because it was trading comfortably, actually below that 19,300 level. It was every time we saw it touch, it fell down below. Yes, as of now, also not much, but that slight.
Reliance Industries is definitely trying to give that some support.
Some support to the market that has been a laggard, and that is something that we are watching out for as well, Look at Reliance's recovery, almost 0.2% uptick that we're seeing coming in, and comfortably moving up towards that green mark, hoping that is going to be lending some support to the markets as well in the next 1.5 hours that is left still for the markets as well. So surely we are going to be keeping an eye out on that. And just in terms of Cheryl, when you're looking at it overall, what other than that is doing? Sensex is also still continuing to see a bit of a decline there, but mid-cap space, Nifty mid-cap, that's moved into the green as well, and Nifty mid-cap is trading a bit on the positive. It was trading on the positive side, but yes, okay, in the morning, but now has given up those gains as well. So let's keep an eye out on the Nifty mid-cap, small-cap space as well. Media is the only one that is holding on to some bit of a gain as well. But on that note, let's just slip into a very short break. And
after that marathon, unbreathable thing that you did right now.
It was almost breathless that I was
breathless,
there.
Oh yes.
Yes, that is what I was competing for. But
that.
Yes, on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. Viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more stocks after the break.